Hey, Albie here, dropping in for a check-in for this eclipse. Wow, this eclipse and full moon energy. So I just had this one come up. Through prayer and meditation, I create a ripple effect in the world. So yeah, I'm just checking, kind of having a look at the energy for the next couple of weeks, what this eclipse might bring up for us, the best way to find your way through things, and things like that. So let's have a look. Through prayer and meditation, I create a ripple effect of peace in the world. So I feel like with that coming up and just the feeling I'm getting in general that everything is kind of, I can't even explain it, it's bad words, bad energy, not bad words. Yeah, it just, everything feels really tense and like, there's a lot of pain and a lot of fear kind of around in the world at the moment, in the collective energy, maybe in your personal life, maybe you're having things come up often the eclipse windows or the eclipses kind of bringing this releasing things, or even full moons, releasing things that no longer work for your life. I feel like some of these things are kind of coming up, or you're just being shown some things maybe that yeah, you didn't kind of expect, or you've had something come up that you need to heal, you've been triggered, or you're noticing that in other people around as well. They just sort of feel it in the energy that there's this kind of aggression, this kind of aggression that's coming from fear. And wow, I had this huge message I was going to say and then it stopped. Yeah, so aggression coming from fear, like, because it doesn't feel normal at the moment. The energy is really kind of, and I think it's throwing people off. I feel like it's, throwing people off quite a lot. When I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. So it's kind of asking you to step out of the feelings of the intensity of the energy that you might be either experiencing or noticing around you with other people as well, and just connect to your joyful presence. I feel like for a lot of you, you're kind of being taken out of your own energy and focusing on things that are external, and focusing on things that are external are sometimes necessary, obviously, but when it's taking over what, it's taking over your focus on you, and it's become that you're focusing only on things on that are external to you, then you kind of start to lose your way a little bit. You can lose your way a little bit, and you can kind of, fall off track, start doing people pleasing things, all sorts of stuff like that. So when I focus on my inner light, I see the world through the lens of love. You couldn't really make it up, could you? That card comes up after I'm talking about focusing on yourself and not on external things. So when you focus on your inner light, what you do is you're building your own light, so you can see things in a different perspective to if we're all focusing on all the negative stuff that, you're getting bombarded with on a constant daily basis, or other people's negative energy, or other people's behaviors or things like that they can affect you. Other people's energies affect you, collective energies affect you, the moon will affect you. And then it says, I honor how I want to feel. So definitely feeling, and I'm one of the people who's experiencing this too, so I'm not above anybody else or anything like that. You might feel like, or you might notice that things have come up, you might have been triggered, and be in this place where you're healing some deep core wounds that have come up from a completely innocent, there might be a completely innocent situation, and under normal circumstances you wouldn't have that kind of reaction, but when you get triggered, it's because it's something from the past that has, given you fear, given you this feeling of feeling unsafe. So your inner child, or that part of you that's wounded, will kick up and say, no, this is a very unsafe situation, we have to leave. You might be experiencing anxiety, you might be experiencing panic attacks, all sorts of things like that can happen when you get triggered. And the part of healing journey is to recognize when that's actually happening, when it's not a reaction to the current situation, or when it's what's the word, when you overreact to something, that is sort of like, well, normally I wouldn't feel like that, so why does this feel so big for me right now? And the reason is that whenever something comes up like that, it's an invitation for you to heal, to find that part of yourself that feels like that, that's scared, that's worried, and love it. Give it some love. Got all croaky then. Yeah, give it some loving attention, because that is what it wants. Reassure yourself that you are actually safe, that it's not the same situation, and that the whatever happened in the past is over now. So you can go down that path. There's other ways as well. I just feel like that's something that's really important for this particular reading, and for people to know that most often the way that we react is the way that we kind of have become accustomed to reacting. Sometimes when something hits like a very raw nerve, you kind of find yourself in a different place to where you normally are. You're not yourself, you're a different version of yourself, perhaps. So if you find yourself feeling odd, or being how can I put it, just being triggered basically by things that are going on that you wouldn't normally be triggered by. It's the full moon and the eclipse kind of showing you where you need some more love in your life, where you need some more self-love and some more care for those parts of yourself that don't feel worthy or loved or safe, or trying to think of the other core wounding things. Yeah, all of those ones, seen, those parts of you that don't feel seen, those parts of you that just are having an issue, I guess. Alright, so the first card that comes up for the tarot, it's the Hanged Man. And I really feel this too in the collective. It's kind of this feeling of, how do you put it? It's just like stasis. It's like nothing's really happening. It's not one thing or the other. You don't really know what's going on. But the thing with the Hanged Man is it's like, it's kind of like if you get a cold when you've been working really hard and all of a sudden you get a hot cold. It's like your body's way of telling you to stop and rest and integrate whatever's going on. So the Hanged Man is that kind of energy, but with your energy a lot. It's kind of, you might find that things just aren't moving the way that you would like them to, or that you feel like you need to what's the word? That you need to stop and recalibrate or work out exactly what it is that you're doing and where you're going. I do feel like for some of you, you may have feel like you're off track, that you're questioning your path, perhaps. So you're thinking like, this isn't where I wanted to be when I was thinking about this a few months ago, or anything like that. It's sort of like, what's going on? Why isn't this happening for me? I don't really know what's going on. You start to question yourself. You start to question why you're doing the things that you're doing, and why isn't it working. Higher self has been talking to me all day saying, just remember that oh great, made my mind go blank. No, that you started on this path, and just because it doesn't feel like it's right, maybe you become unaligned from the path that you were meant to be on. That's what it was about. That's right. It's being out of alignment, or perhaps that when you were manifesting, thinking about planning your future, which is now your present, you weren't as aligned as you thought you were, so things didn't kind of go the way you wanted to. But now's the time to reassess and come back around and see if everything's working, I guess, is the way that my guide is putting it. If everything's working the way you want it to, or if it's not working, the way that you want it to. If things aren't aligned the way that you would like, then maybe it's time to go back while we have this energetic portal between the two eclipses, and what's the word? I want to say recalibrate, but it's more than that. It's like really assess what's going on for you and why it is, and you know, all of that sort of stuff, and maybe start seeing how you can change things so that they can go in a direction that feels more supportive to your soul path, or feels more like you're aligned with your soul path. Let's have a look. What else is coming up? It's going to come up right now. Any messages, please? Oh, here we go. The Ace of Swords. Okay, so the Hanged Man, this stasis kind of feeling, this little bit of, you know, stop what you're doing and check it out and see, are you where you want to be? If you're not where you want to be, why? what parts, what thoughts, what parts of your life are taking you off track? What things are you doing? What habits do you have that aren't putting you in that place where you're aligned with what you wanted? Sometimes, you know, maybe it could be that, like I was saying earlier, you're focusing externally. I couldn't get that out. Your external focus has become too external. I'm sure you know what I mean. Your focus on external things has kind of taken you off track, as I said right at the beginning of the reading. And maybe it's time to find some balance in between, you know, looking after your own energetic needs and your own needs in general, and other things. Oh, let's have a look here. Okay, the Five of Pentacles is coming up. Oh, so this is a feeling of like being left out, basically, not realizing that there's a key there to get in the door. This door, I guess, feels sort of like home or something like that. You might feel like you don't belong at the moment. Looking for home, looking for that feeling of home within you, that comfort. You can see she looks pretty like she's pretty miserable, and if you look at her, she's kind of bruised and stuff, so she looks like she's been through some shit, basically. I feel like this is kind of where we might all be at the moment, collectively or personally as well, just feeling like, why haven't I gotten where I want to go? I want to go in this door, and yet here's this key, right? She's not even seen it because she's so like focused on her own unpleasant thoughts. Or to me, this is sort of like, you know, wallowing in it. Right? And I think wallowing in it has a place. I think that you know, we need to process our emotions, and sometimes wallowing in it is the best way to do it, but it gets to a point where it's too far, and you know, that's all you are. That kind of, it dominates your energy, and therefore you are not able to see from different perspectives when you are only focused on this one perspective of, oh, this isn't working for me. Why can I not have this? Why can't I get in this door? Why can't I get to home? Or whatever it is that's beyond the door that she wants so much. The Ace of Swords. So this is like new ideas. It's new ideas coming in. It's like new mental energy. I don't know about you guys, but fuck, my brain has been like full of cotton wool, and I don't even know where I've been for the last 3 weeks. It's just like all of a sudden I felt so bombarded I couldn't even think straight, you know, just daily functional things were enough, and that was it. I was like, just trying to remember what I was meant to get at the shop was a bit too much. So yeah, just like this feeling of renewal, of being able, of cognitive cognitive processes of coming up with new ideas, of thinking of things in a new way, like finding the perspective beyond this feeling, seeing the light's coming in. This is kind of reminding me of like a divine download or a channel or something like that, you know, whatever you want to call it, when you get that inspiration from somewhere else and it just hits you and you're like, oh, look at that, and then you go down this like rabbit hole, this swirly staircase type thing right into your mind, and you start kind of working it out, and it gets you moving, it gets you going, it gets you thinking about stuff that maybe you haven't thought about for a while, or just gets you seeing things in a different perspective. And from that different perspective is where things will change for you, because a different perspective is a different energy. It gives you a different energy, and when everything starts in the energy and then it starts to anchor into the physical, that's how we kind of co-create our world, I guess. Alright, let's have a look here further. Yep. Let's have a look. That was too many cards and I can't work out which way they're meant to be and what's going on, so I'm just going to keep shuffling. If they're meant to come out, they'll come out. So let's have some more information, messages, guidance for this next eclipse, window, portal, whatever you want to call it. Here we go. Alright, so we have the Three of Cups. I think this came up. This is just similar energy to one of the readings I did for last week's weekly guidance reading thing. Is this coming out of this kind of feeling of not fitting in, not being part of things, or feeling, feeling left out, feeling locked out, feeling like everybody else has things the way they want them, but you're different, you don't get it, or it doesn't work for you how other people get things to work for them. So it's kind of coming out of this by connecting with people who get you, I guess, or recognizing the connection between you and other people. And sometimes I think even this kind of energy, this is very restricted, it's very closed down, it's very like, I've shut my energy down and I don't want to, be near anybody, I don't trust anyone, all of that kind of energy. I think sometimes when you start to come out of that, or it can give you this feeling of like, I can't connect with other people because they don't understand me. I'm different. Like, I know this because I have lived it for a very long time. I felt like that. And then I started to realize that, we've always got something that we can connect with people with, whether it's like, there's got to be something, the weather, anything like that. If you practice, you can talk to anyone about anything, right? And it gives you this feeling of community, this feeling of togetherness, so you don't feel left out. And I'm not saying like we should all just go out and talk to everybody all the time, because that's, you don't want to do that either. Maybe you do, I don't know. I don't, because I'm antisocial as fuck. But yeah, so yeah, it's just this feeling of like, I'm thinking it's sort of like connecting with people who know you, people who you know, or people who you haven't met yet, but as soon as you meet them, you kind of have that feeling like, we know each other, we've got things going on, we can talk to each other about stuff that, most people wouldn't talk to each other about, maybe. Just that feeling of comfortableness, that feeling of friendship, that feeling of being able to be open and not judged and being celebrated for who you are. I feel like it's sort of, you're coming out of this, it's coming out of this, and this has got to do with this healing, with this, what I was talking about before, that this energy coming up, and things that might need to be healed or looked at or loved, or however you want to look at it. And then we have the Queen of Wands. So yeah, focusing on yourself again. It always comes up that way. The Queen of Wands is very sort of energetically independent. I would call it sovereign. she's quite happy to be with herself. She's quite happy to play with her own light. As you can see, look how she's so, the look on her face, I love it. She's just like so enamored with her own stuff, right? That it wouldn't matter. Like people around her are lifted up by that energy, but she's kind of like, she doesn't really mind if people are involved with her or not, because she's quite happy doing her own thing, and she's quite full of passion and life and all of that sort of stuff, and she knows that it doesn't like rely on other people. It's all from within, right? So it's sort of like, you know, focusing, as I said, on your inner light, and as the card said, on my inner light. Let's have a look and see what's further up. Any more messages for this reading, please? More messages, more messages. I don't know why I'm singing like that. I just do what I do. I poo what I poo. I don't know why I said that. Bloody hell. Oh dear. Alright, so this has come up, yeah, Three of Swords. It's a fair bit of pain, like a broken heart, perhaps. I feel like this is kind of talking about what I was picking up on before about how these eclipses bring shifts. Sometimes they're shifts that we're not ready to make. Sometimes it's, releasing things we're not ready to release, perhaps, or seeing things like the word brutal is coming through. It's like something really brutal, not like violent brutal, but emotionally kind of, look at this woman's face. Holy shit, she looks like she's not happy. Anyway, I feel like this is tied into what I was talking about before, and why currently you might feel like you are in this Hanged Man energy. And I'm gonna just keep pulling some more cards. Alright, and leaving something behind, or not leaving something behind. It's something you haven't left behind yet. You might think that you have, but I feel like it's going to come up for you. It's sort of like wannaling but can't, or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's get some more messages. I want to get a bit more on this Ten of Wands and Three of Swords. Oh, now my hair's made my face itchy. Oh, there we go. Alright, the King of Pentacles. These cards are all over the place, but then again, I guess the energy's kind of funny too. Let's have a look. That overheating feeling I get when I'm channeling sometimes. Alright. Okay, so for some of you, I feel like it might be a choice between two people. Making a choice maybe even between yourself and someone else, or a situation. King of Wands is a lot of, fiery, passionate energy. It's, creativity, passion, romance, sexual kind of energy as well. And then they've got the King of Pentacles, who's a bit more of a stable energy. Just because it's king and queen doesn't mean it's, a person that's male or female. It could go either way or whatever way. So for some of you, I think that you might be making a choice that is not one that you really ever wanted to make, but you might have to, as part, when you do this healing, you'll find that you'll find when you go through this shift, when this transitional time has passed, and you're you've come out of this area, you might realize that someone in your life has been maybe a distraction, or maybe just trying to tune in. Maybe you were looking for this energy and you got that. Maybe you need a bit of both, like finding a balance between this fiery passionateness and being like stable and comfortable and all of that sort of stuff. It could just be that it's an energy that you will find after coming through this like painful healing situation, and kind of sitting in this as well. I feel like the support of friends and family will really help you weather the storm, if that's what you want to call it. But of course, you know, like, we don't have to go into things just because we're healing them. Like, we can sit, feel, heal, and process, and it doesn't have to become a part of your everyday life. Like, you don't have to be affected by it. That's what being detached is, or compassionate detachment is. It's like, I know this is, you know, something that's happening for me, or I'm watching this happen in between me and someone else, or something like that. And it doesn't, like, if you're focusing on your own inner light, like her, it doesn't bother you as much, because, you know, like, the way that people behave is always about them. You don't take it personally or as personally. Of course, it still does things, and I feel like, sorry, I dropped the card. I feel like for you guys, this is a message that is coming through quite strongly, is to remember to stay detached and not take things too personally, because, you know, everybody's working through something at the moment, and finding that balance might be something that you need to work towards, and it will happen, I feel. But while you're healing, while you're going through the transition from feeling left out, while you're here, it's a core wound that I'm feeling coming up for many people. This unworthiness, this, like, you're not like everybody else and you don't fit in kind of feeling, for whatever reason, and there's like a billion. And yeah, as you're coming out of that energy and towards this, sometimes things can be a little, you know, rocky, a bit wild. Oh, hang on, that was one that was meant to be out. A bit wild. So remembering to kind of, you know, take time out for yourself and meditate, and, you know, bring yourself back to your own energy when you feel yourself getting drawn out into things, or getting too focused on things that are sort of taking away from you being present, or in the present moment, or being able to function because you're thinking about other things too much. So the last couple of cards, and this will be the end now. The Six of Swords. So this is moving away toward, at the end of this, we are going, it's just a transition, it's just a shift. It's nice to know sometimes that other people are kind of feeling the same way. So, you know, if you are experiencing this in any way, shape or form, or it resonates, make sure you leave a comment. Just say me too or something. I don't know, probably don't use that because that's like a hashtag for other things, which we won't get into on this recording. But, or just, you know, let me know if this is resonating for you. So moving away from trouble, packing your bags. The Six of Swords is like, I'm done with that shit now, you know. It's over, I've sorted it out, I'm good, I'm balanced, I'm back to being the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles isn't, you know, the Page of Pentacles is still learning, which we all are, because we're all on a journey, right? So the Page of Pentacles is still learning, but also more kind of earthy, balanced kind of feeling. I'm just trying to get a message come through. So focusing more on things being balanced. This is what I'm seeing here. This is like this wheel that we have. She's holding it, you know, and standing on one hand. So I feel like there's sort of more balance coming through as we leave this kind of this shift, this eclipse portal. Let's have a look and see. I said these were going to be the last ones. Whoops. And they're not, because I just threw them all over the floor. Alright, so let's have a look with a few more cards just to get the final kind of outcome thing. Final outcome thing. Alright, let's have a look. That one's come up, Seven of Pentacles, so growing things, investing, things that you have invested in. I feel like you were investing a lot of energy into things that seemed like they kind of weren't working, and this shift where we are going into deeper core wounds about worthiness. I think this is something that's coming, it's been coming up for a long time, for the last few months. This it's not just the unworthiness, but it's kind of like all these little, it's hard to explain, there's like all these little nuances to that where you don't really realize that that's a way of feeling unworthy. It's like I'm trying to think of an example. As I was saying probably about this, it's like when you feel left out, it's like you might not realize that feeling left out is actually a core wound from feeling not worthy of somebody's love or something when you were a kid, maybe. Yeah, so it's like there's a lot of different things. There's like financial things, there's relationship things, there's the family things, but it's all coming back down to the core wound of feeling unworthy, of feeling like you don't fit, you don't get what everyone else gets. So let's have a look. The Seven of Pentacles, and I feel like once this is shifted, the Seven of Pentacles is showing you that like all of this energy that you've put in, that you've been investing into things, it's going to start paying off. It's going to start showing some promise. You won't be alone for long. I don't know why I said that. It just came out, so it's obviously a message for somebody, someone. Take it as it resonates, take it as it hits you. And then Temperance, which is a very good card. It kind of feels and talks about balance. It talks about, as you can see, it's sort of like an alchemy. I don't know, it's like, yeah, finding balance in the elements, I guess, is this card's kind of got moon and the sun mixed up together. In a lot of traditional tarot, it's sort of like an angel standing with one foot in the water and one on the ground. So it's like combining the two, and then she's pouring water into a cup. So it's like, it's an alchemy thing. It's like this soul alchemy that's going on. And I feel like with Temperance coming up, it's talking about balance. It's you finding balance, coming back into balance, coming back into wherever it is that you want to be, wherever it is that your soul path is asking you to be. And I think that would be enough for this reading. I feel like I've gotten enough messages out. If this resonated, don't forget to give me a like. If you want a personal reading, you can always message me. And I think that's probably it. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.